Hi, my name is Stephanie Kopp, and today I'm going to be showing you around my portfolio that I have kept for the last 2 years as part of my Clear credential at Cal State Fullerton. On this first introductory page, you're going to read a little bit more about myself, where I work, which is a small Christian school in Northern California, read about my background, and what I like to do outside of school. You can also find a link to the state standards, the school I work at, and the curriculum. Up at the top of the page, I have these different links to my resume, where I have kept up to date on my different extracurricular activities, as well as my work experience. I've also got my different assessments that we'll be diving into, such as the continuum of teaching practices, the POP cycle, which stands for pre-observation, observation, and post-observation, and a teacher inquiry. This page is my CSTP evidence broken down by all 6. I also have a technology competency and a leadership competency, which we will be getting to. Next, I would like to go to the assessment page. Here you can see the 3 different links I've got here, focusing on my continuum teaching practices. Here we have highlighted our growth over the last 2 years by keeping up with our initial assessment, which was done in September of 2019. Again, we did our second semester, March of 2020. Our third, which was fall of 2020. And lastly, semester 4 in March of 2021. Here I can document my growth and reflection on the different CSTPs and how I've moved through them. The next assessment I'd like to talk about is the POP, which I said it stands for the pre-conference, observation, and post-conference, and these were done with working with my mentor teacher. POP cycles were completed in semesters 1, 2, and 3. POP cycle 1 focused on science. POP cycle 2 or semester 2 focused on a math multisensory approach, learning multiplication facts. And cycle number 3 was writing with a focus on technology. The one I'd like to highlight today is the math multisensory approach, learning multiplication facts. Our students are a little advanced for their math, especially given our curriculum. State standards have them learning their multiplication facts in 3rd grade. However, we start introducing them in 2nd grade. So what I did was I allowed them to learn their multiplication facts to songs and chants, which we repeat. We would also have hand motions. We would do different jumping patterns to go along with it. And we also played games. They would play war with each other, and we would assign a point value for a jack, queen, king, and ace. And they could play it at home if they needed to. And also we played Jenga. So on each Jenga block, they would have a multiplication fact, and if they got it correct, they got to keep it. If not, the fact would go back on top of the tower. Whoever had the most blocks when the tower fell was the winner. This actually started being planned before COVID, but had to be changed due to distance learning. So I created a YouTube channel where I could teach the links, embed the videos to the videos that we had learned for our multiplication facts, and share them at home. It was also great because my students had access to a deck of cards and Jenga at home. So they were able to keep practicing. This, I saw huge growth, and then I was able to get over 90% of my students passing their multiplication facts test. I also wanted to highlight my teacher inquiry or teacher individual learning plan, which happened in semester 2, 3, and 4. Semester 2 was using short-term instructional strategies to intensify long-term memory. Semester 3 was technology with traditional writing strategies. And 4 was community involvement to create a career day. Today I want to highlight semester 3, the ILP. Here I introduced technology to my classroom, and my students do not have a lot of access to technology within our classroom. So what I did here was I was able to obtain 6 different iPads and download a drawing app on it. So the students were given the assignment to talk about their favorite childhood memory. We brainstormed as a class. I shared with them about my brother sitting on my piñata for my birthday. And after we brainstormed and shared what would be good ideas, we broke up into 3 different writing rotations. And these are leveled on their abilities and skill levels. So the first group would be working on the iPads, and they would draw a picture of what their favorite childhood memory was. And I could print those off and save them so I could look back at them to see if they were on topic. Rotation number 2 was working with me, filling out their graphic organizers, which again I had divvied up based upon their skill ability level, asking for different things. And rotation 3 was where students were given a pre-made paragraph and had to find all the mistakes. The next days, the students would write their rough draft. I would edit them. I would share them up on the whiteboard, give them feedback, critique, and then a couple days later, they would write their final draft. And I saw that by combining this left brain and right brain idea, their writing scores went up because they could visualize what they were writing about. That was such a huge success for them. One of the other things that I would like to show you are my CSTPs. So for example, CSTP 1, I've got it listed here along with the color coding that we saw back on the other page. And I've got this for all 6. Next, I'd like to move over to my technology competency. Here is a proof of what I've done via technology in my classroom, and I can share that here. I've also got my position on technology and how I believe we need to be lifelong learners, and some of the wonderful things that's done, especially in terms of this COVID pandemic, and how students have been able to still attend school in a way that previously wouldn't have been able to do. But one of the things I'd really like to talk about was this enhanced playlist. So I, along with another candidate, worked together to create this choice board for 2nd grade history 2.5. Every year, my students have to do a research project that we pick a famous author, or famous musician or president, which goes along, right, with the state standard 2.5. And all students have to create a newspaper article that, details when they were born, when they lived, their character traits, all those kind of things. So it's an expository text. But then I want to give students an opportunity to create some of their own personal things. So one of the things, the choice board that we came up with, was a Minecraft for education. And they could create something that represented their birth city, the college they attended, an invention. Students could use Pixton to create a comic that would show interaction between them and the famous person. Option number 3 was a digital timeline. Number 4 was a puppet show. The 5th was they could dress like their person and record and upload a Vimeo and a speech. Number 6 was that they could use Google Docs to design a poster for the person as if they were running for president of the United States. It would include a slogan, different things to show they understood why this person was important and their character strengths. Option number 7 was to create a song and present it. And then the last option was to create an artistic artifact about that person. And this could have done in a tactile manner. I've also got a rubric down here of what we were going to do, how it was going to be graded. So these are the things that need to be in their newspaper. But giving the students the freedom and the choice to do all this allowed them to meet this standard of 2.5 for history, but also show some personality and do what was best for them. Another page I would like to show you is my leadership competency. And this page shows about my experience, what I've done, my different standards, the teacher leadership standards, the NBPTS self-assessments, my goals, and things like that. But I've also was able to perform a teacher leadership project this semester for semester 4, and the project I chose to focus on was involving the community in a career day. And I specifically focused on community helpers because grades TK through 2nd studied community helpers and their role on the school through our social studies standards. So I had members of the community come in and present to the students. I also did a PowerPoint for our staff explaining how this would better bring the community into our school rather than self-isolating and just focusing on us. We would allow more of a give and take between the community and ourselves. And we live in a very small community where people are willing to help. They just don't know how. So we had High Patrol, we had Cal Fire, Fish and Game, and nurses from the hospital come share with the students. The students rotated around through the presentations. They were able to ask questions, climb through the cars. And, most of the presenters also had goodies for them to take home to remember. In addition to talking about how they got into their positions, the community members talked about what it meant for our students to be good community members. Whether that means, not playing with matches, reporting a fire, not fishing or hunting where they shouldn't be, wearing their seatbelt, making sure that they wash their hands, all those things. So the students could start taking pride in their school too. So as a result, this is my webpage, and this is everything that I have done for the last 2 years. So thank you so much for watching.